4, 3.
And we're live. That was a little Wayne's World reference for you.
Wayne's World.
Jeff, have you
Party
seen Wayne's
time.
World?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my
Of
favorite
course
movies
he
ever.
has. Of course he's seen it. He's no shop. Anyway, you guys
Oh, I
ready
forgot
to
that
start
was
this
yeah.
podcast? All right, let's do it. Welcome, everybody, to level 76 of the Sandbox Gamers podcast, a podcast where three vidgets meet weekly to talk about life, love, and the pursuit of vidya. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your co-host with the most, Wonder Rob, coming at you live on YouTube Live on a Sunday morning and semi-live for anybody listening after the fact from Southern California. And on the line with me are two of my best Arizona friends in the metaverse, the Big Mac of our podcast, Vactor.
Buns, ketchup, pickle, cheese. Put that patty in between his burger. Hey, it's burger.
I thought you were going to do the other song, the one that goes, to all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
I was almost going to do a Pizza Hut, a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and a Pizza Hut.
That's not even
McDonald's,
the same.
McDonald's.
And the Filet-O-Fish of our pod, the always angry JeffW.
No, it's more like a quarter pounder with cheese. The best Don's burger that you can get. Not a fucking Big Mac.
Sounds like Jeff's got a little extra tartar sauce.
Zing!
And I'm a McChicken, the hot and spicy variety. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time listening to us, thanks for joining us. We are, in fact, a video game podcast. Despite the things we might be talking about this episode, we do eventually get to video games, so thank you. And if you're a returning listener like Tommy Gunn, thank you for coming back. No matter what you are, hit subscribe, give us a like on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook Reels, all the places. We greatly appreciate it. Now, before we get into all the hot and spicy video game news and the games we've been playing, we have some talk to talk about. Number one, we have a question from another listener. It's not Tommy Gunn this time. It's a gentleman named Pedro. And here's the thing, Pedro. I'm going to acknowledge your question because we like the audience engagement, but I am also going to advise you to go back several episodes. I don't know which episode it is, but we did answer this question already. But here's the question, Jeff. Jeff, I have a question.
I think I'm the only one that answered this last time.
Would you rather, Jeff?
Vactor has to give an answer. That's the only rule here. You can't back out of this.
What, do you think I'm just going to make a short of this where you're the only one answering? No, I'm not going to make a short of this. I'm promising right now. I'm not making a short of this question, but I am going to acknowledge it. Jeff, would you rather? And, sorry, for the listeners, we are a video game podcast. I know I've said it, but please just bear with us for a second. Jeff, would you rather put 10 different penises in your mouth or only have one penis in your mouth 10 times? Okay. That's a very vulgar question, Pedro. And despite its vulgarity, we have answered it in the past. But I'm going to give Jeff the opportunity to repeat his answer.
I don't remember what my answer was. Which one gets you done quicker? Like if you're doing one over, do you have to do that over a 10-day period? Or are you sucking it once per day? Or can you just do all 10 of them in 20 minutes? You know what I mean?
I think it's like working from home. You just get it done at your own schedule.
I guess 1D 10 times, I guess.
Yeah. You see, Pedro, my boy Jeff is all about monogamy. All right. That's a very good trait to have.
I can't even get 6 people together for a Destiny raid. You know what I mean? Getting 10
well, maybe if you offered
Gotta give him an
Give 'em
incentive.
a little a little prize at the end of the tunnel, Jeff. We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Let me have a victory sip right here.
That's right.
Okay. We did answer that question already, though, Pedro. I don't know which episode ago, but I'm pretty sure Jeff's answer is similar. So go back and check it out. Thanks for the question. But I do have an actual video game question to ask you boys. This week's video game question is, what was the first video game you ever beat? This has nothing to do with penises, unless you want it to. Jeff, what was the first game you ever beat?
Man,
that you can recall.
I bet you it was Metal Gear Solid.
It could have been Metal Gear Solid 1. But I also have like vague memories of man, like
Halo 1?
Yeah, I have to look at no. Hey, I was already into games at Halo when Halo came out. Halo I did beat in like a couple days, like because I had a buddy of mine had it and we were playing LAN at his house, and I was like, okay, I have to have this game. It might be Metal Gear Solid, maybe. I'm trying to think of like there could have been like a weird game in there, like Dino Crisis. I mean, and I would say something like Mario, but like my memory isn't strong enough of like did I fully complete those games, right? So if I was to give a legitimate answer, I think it might be Metal Gear Solid. That or something random, maybe Resident Evil 2 actually.
Oh
maybe
man,
that. I think Resident Evil 2.
That's dedication for a little kid to go all the way
yeah.
through Resident Evil 2.
Well, see, and back in the day, that was my cousin essentially got me into video games. And I remember them like, so I had played like Final Fantasy and stuff with all them before. Like we'd, run through some games, but then I remember he's like, check this one out. And then it was the opening of Resident Evil 2, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, this game is creepy.
Oh shit.
That game, it got me hyped. So I remember essentially I would have played through that with him at some point. So probably that. I'd have to see like release dates and stuff like that. But yeah, it was something on the PlayStation 1 for sure.
All right. What say you, Vactor? What was the first game you beat?
You're not gonna believe this, but it's a little game called Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It was the very first game that I played all the way through.
What even is the end of that game?
The very end, he turns into a robot and he flies off into the night, and that's how it ends.
No,
and there's a dance party.
That's such horse shit. There's no way that game ends like that.
That game was fantastic, Jeff. You need to watch it on YouTube.
Isn't he saving children in that game too?
Yeah, yes. He goes into Mr. Big's house. Yeah. Michael.
Oh man.
Michael. Every time he saves one. Michael. He goes into Mr. Big's house and goes into all the closets and gets all the little girls out. No little boys.
Oh.
This is 100% correct. And it was the same girl like 1,000 times. I never changed the assets they didn't change the hair. They didn't change anything. It was the same girl in every closet.
Right.
But that game was so fun. They had that in the arcade as well, but I beat it on the Sega Genesis. And I have a core memory of moving to a new house and running home from school, elementary school, because I knew I had Michael Jackson Moonwalker waiting for me at home. I don't know why I knew that. This was before the internet, before cell phones. Somebody tipped me off during school that I had Moonwalker waiting for me when I got home.
How did anybody at your school know? Like, did Ted or Kathleen surprise them? Like,
that part is not part of the core memory. The core memory is me running home from elementary school to get to my Sega Genesis. I remember not caring about my school all day because I knew Moonwalker was waiting for me. When I got home, it was good.
You were a celebrity at the time because you got those stupid fucking, what were those drinks called? on the base.
Oh, the Squeeze-Its?
Yeah, you got the
This was
squeeze it. So
this
maybe he
was a
was
little
well
bit
known.
after that. Just a little bit after that, as a matter of
The
fact.
Squeeze It kid is running down the
He's
street.
got Moonwalker in
That
his
was a
house.
different Air Force base.
Did you
They
guys hear
didn't
about the Squeeze It guy? He has
they didn't know
Moonwalker.
me as the Squeeze-It guy. But I did have some Michael Jackson shoes that I wore to school. So people knew me as the Michael Jackson fan.
Oh, that's so funny. Look at the Squeeze It guy. He's moonwalking.
Yeah.
He'll squeeze. And it kind of squeeze.
I saw a clip on TikTok of Michael Jackson and Ready to Rumble. I linked
Oh,
it
yeah.
in our Discord.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this fucking guy in this
Yeah.
game.
I
Is that
remember
real or is that a mod?
Yes, that was
No,
real.
that's real.
He was
What?
a secret character in that.
MJ was a secret character in Ready to Rumble boxing.
Add it to the short, Rob.
What?
I remember like Shaq being in this and whatever and stuff. Was my
I don't remember Shaq, but I remember Michael
Yeah.
Jackson for sure.
I would love to watch a fight between Shaq and Michael Jackson. Now that would be very funny. Oh, that's great. For me, it's tough to remember. It's tough to recall. The biggest memory of beating a video game in my mind is Ocarina of Time when that came out, because I had to do that one start to finish. I've told the story before. My mom at the time stole my strategy guide and said, "You can have this back when you beat the game."
Oh wow.
I was very displeased with my mother. But I do respect the decision after the fact. But if it's not Ocarina of Time, before that, I recall beating Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES, of course. Getting all the way to that fire world, that last level, and the side-scrolling levels where it's I almost said Donkey Kong's, where it's Bowser's army. You know, they're on those they're like log cabins, but they're also vehicles for some reason, and they're just going down, and you have to like go over the long gauntlet, hopping over everything. That was dope. And then Bowser and his little clown thing, like, "I'm gonna get you, Mario. My name's Bowser."
That's exactly how he sounded.
But the biggest one, the most impactful game in terms of like, wow, I did it, would definitely be Ocarina of Time, for sure. Excellent question.
Fair.
Excellent question. All right. Before we get into the video game news, I do have one more question, and this is actually specifically for Jeff. This is a JeffW special. Jeff, would you be able to rank the top 5 sandwiches at McDonald's? For the listeners,
Yes.
For the listeners, we had off mic quite the discussion, quite the argument, you could say, about which sandwiches are superior at McDonald's. And Jeff's got all the answers. Now, Vactor says it's a Big Mac is the best that McDonald's has to
that's
offer.
wrong.
There's a
I am
reason
saying, continue.
There's a reason it is known worldwide as the signature burger for McDonald's. It's not a quarter pounder, Jeff. It's Big Mac.
Now,
we're gonna rank sandwiches. So if you just said burger alone, just because of the limited menu you have, it would probably rise up to like top 3-ish. But there's other things in McDonald's that are better than the Big Mac. That's not even a burg. You know what I mean?
Right.
No,
Now,
I think it's
the hot and spicy McChicken. I just want to put that out there. I just had to say it. I know you two already were starting your arguing, but I had to get it in there. I just had to. Okay, the mic is all yours, Jeff.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So
give us that power ranking.
If I had to rank them, let's okay. So easy number one, like not even. This is where the Big Mac fails. Is now you could go with the double or the regular. I'm a double man myself. Quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's is the best burger they have. It's the freshest burger. It doesn't taste like ish. That's easily number one. Now we're gonna say number two. That's why I said sandwiches, because my number two is a breakfast item. I could eat anything breakfast from McDonald's, but it would be a sausage biscuit with egg and cheese
Okay.
is a number 2. And then we're going to get into a classic. Number 3 would be your average double cheeseburger or McDouble, either one, basically the same unless you really need that extra slice of cheese. And then the number 4, like Rob said, would be the McChicken. I would personally say that I like it would be tough to say the McChicken or these like, I don't even know what they call the new ones. What are the
I don't know about the new sandwiches, the new chicken sandwiches. I just stick
uh
to the classic,
yeah.
the hot and spicy
So
McChicken.
I'm gonna go with the new chicken, personally. And then number 5, you could slide the Big Mac in. You could slide it in there, maybe.
Trent is so mad.
But for me, since I like breakfast so much, I'm gonna put in a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit in that place in number 5, and then the Big Mac can slide in at number 6 with its over lettuced fucking pile of shit, too many buns
So
sandwich.
you're saying the Big Mac is miscongeniality. It's the runner up.
Yeah. Well, see, no one goes there for the Big Mac. You know what I mean?
I
No one
do.
really goes there for the Big
My
Mac. There's
wife does. As a matter of fact,
nah,
billions of people go there for the Big Mac, Jeff.
nah.
Billions with a B.
And my wife,
He said no one.
Candy's a smart woman. She does not
Everyone
go there
who's
for the
listening
Big
right
Mac.
now who goes to McDonald's for the Big Mac, leave a comment and tell
No,
Jeff
no, no,
how
no,
wrong
no.
he is. Wrong.
Mm-mm. I'll get a Big Mac today and I'll review it. It's just not, there's too much lettuce. There's too much bullshit going on.
Just tell him
They play
easy
too
lettuce,
much.
Jeff. Have it your way. Just tell him
That's Burger
easy
King.
lettuce. Easy.
We are a video game podcast, everybody. Don't forget.
All right, what other food thing can we talk about?
We've gone over penises. We've gone over burgers. Now it's time to go over the simple fact that everyone needs to remember that JeffW is always DTF. That stands for down to talk fucking sandwiches at McDonald's, but also down to talk fun, everybody. So let's get into it, shall we? What do we got on the docket today, Trent?
Well, remember 21 months ago when we talked about Microsoft acquiring Activision on this very podcast?
Oh
I don't know, episode 1, who knows what episode it was. But the $69 billion deal, Jeff, with a B, billion, has finally completed. So Call of Duty is now officially part of Xbox. Today is a good day to play, says Phil Spencer. We officially welcome Activision Blizzard King to Team Xbox. So all your favorite Activision Blizzard titles, Jeff, and King, I don't know what King titles, but all of your favorites, Jeff, are now on the Xbox. Overwatch, Call of Duty, all of those
Was that
beloved
21 months
titles.
ago? There's
That
no
was
way, right?
21 months ago.
Is that when it got leaked or when they
That
claim
was
it
when they
started?
announced it before all the litigation, before all of the
Man, it feels like it's
court
been not
deals.
that
Almost 2
long.
years ago? Really?
That
Yeah.
was January 2022. So
Wow.
I guess
very
so,
close to
yeah.
2 years.
I guess it is, yeah. Dang.
So that was a groundbreaking merger, but the FTC, all the Securities and Exchange Commissions had to do the legal paperwork and get all of that stuff straightened out because,
Illegally.
as we talked about previously, it was all about Microsoft having a monopoly on the industry and acquiring all of these companies. But it's official. So all of our stuff, all of our thoughts that we had 21 months ago, um, I think, well, mine are still the same. I don't know if you guys have changed your minds, but it's now complete. So all of those thoughts can now be finalized.
Great. My biggest concern was get Bobby Kotick out of there. Get that Dingleberry the heck out.
I
And
think
he
he's
is.
there till the end of the year, right?
He's
Yeah.
there till the end of the year. And then Phil Spencer, friend of the show, will be taking over.
Yeah. Well, I think
Or somebody else. I don't know.
First off, I think if I'm Microsoft, because I'm thinking about what's happening now after this, like you gotta, especially like if we're talking Game Pass, you need to go in the bag and pull out some of these titles and put that shit on Game Pass. Like if that's your big seller, if that's your Netflix, eventually, your Netflix type
That's a
thing
good
on
idea.
for gaming. Fuck Sony. They're not getting them. I pull all my games from them, but I go like this won't get you in trouble. Like I think if you like put Guitar Hero on there, put fucking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like, could you imagine the headlines? Like, if you're Microsoft, how good that looks for you. If it's like, all right, hey, guess what, guys? Now that we have it within the next few months, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is going to be on there. Guitar Hero, all these other, Crash Bandicoot. Now you completely own that. Like, just start ripping out, the games. Like, they already have some of the Bethesda stuff on there because that closed a little while ago. But go in the bag here on the Activision's titles. If I'm them, I start putting they started fixing all the old Call of Duties. Maybe this is already kind of in play and they're just waiting to announce it after a few days or something. But like if it's me, I take all of the old Call of Duties and I put them on Game Pass. Like here you go, all the 360 ones, all that bullshit. Like put that on there and you can play it now. I mean, that would be to me like I don't know, a major headline for them to like make all of this worth it, I guess.
I'll tell you what they need to do to really stick it to Sony is on October 20th, put out all those Spider-Man games that Activision made. Spider-Man 2, The Sinister Six, Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro, Ultimate Spider-Man, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Friend or Foe, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Put them all on Game Pass on October 20th.
Oh,
that'll stick it to them.
I wonder if they could, or if that'd be like a licensing, like if they would have to go back and get like some licensing stuff done for that.
Well, I mean, I'm no video game scientist.
That'd be funny though. Yeah, man, put out some fucking games. I mean, even like this list on this Kotaku article Vactor has right there, like some of these games, like if everybody lists, I mean, like you have like the big ones like Diablo, World of Warcraft, like some of the major players here, but they have games on this list that are like Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. Like, no offense to anybody, but I mean, I like that game too, and it would be cool if they put it on Game Pass just so you can mess with it, but who the fuck is playing that game? You know what I mean? Or like what has come out of that franchise in the last like 20 years? Like, so some of the games they make this list really long, but I think a good chunk of these are dead franchises as well, but we'll see, maybe Microsoft can bring them back, I suppose.
Put back Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the first ones. Like, get that, that remaster they did. I'm surprised. I mean, why is that not on there right now? I would put that on there immediately.
Extreme Paint Brawl, Jeff. Yeah.
What about Front Page Sports Baseball? That's
a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Pitfall, Quest for Glory, Skylander, Spyro, Jeff. Tony Hawk's Pro Baiter. It's a fishing game. Let's see. What else do they got here? I don't all these King games. What are they? What even are these?
Candy Crush.
Okay,
I think
Candy
these are
Crush.
mobile type of games.
What is that? Papa Bear Saga?
Bubble.
Boring. Now Deathloop. Now we're talking. In Bethesda, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. We all knew about these. Rage.
Yeah, I'd say these are all available, I think, for the most
JeffW loves Rage.
Oh yeah,
because he's always angry.
He created that game.
Oh yeah.
They basically.
With you. Oh yeah.
Make it a soundbite. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is fun. We like to have fun here, everybody.
Well, Jeff's also going to be having fun with his new, smaller PlayStation 5 launching next month.
Oh
The
yeah, I forgot about
PS5
this.
Slim. So
Mm.
it's not going to have that little disc tray for you, Jeff. It's not going to have the little discs.
Yeah, I bought the one with the disc and I have not used it. I don't think I've used it one time. I don't think I've put any physical game into it. So I should have gotten the other one anyway, to be honest. Um, but here I am looking like a dummy,
So
and I have
it's
the
going to
disc
be,
version.
so there's going to be the, it says with disc drive $4.99, digital only $4.49. Um, so you can have it, Jeff, if you still want it. You
Is that
can
more
have it.
expensive? $4.49. Is that more expensive than the digital that's out right now?
I think so. I thought that was 400.
That's
The
weird.
regular.
Let's check.
Yeah, we're gonna do some investigating, some investigative journalism right now. Everybody,
they
Trent's on it.
Did they have they only released these images, or is there a video that accompanies that? Like, I
I
guess
haven't
nobody
seen
has
them.
it in hand.
I
yet,
haven't
right?
seen a video of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
I mean,
surprised.
it looks cool, but it's still. I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested to see if it's like, because that thing is pretty fucking big, and I have the
It is
I
more
have the
expensive.
yeah, yeah.
What?
Fuck that.
They made a slimmer version and they charge $50 more.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's
You're an
weird.
Well,
idiot if you
this
buy
is
that
no
new
longer
shit.
available.
And then if
Oh,
you
This is for
buy the
Sony.
digital, and then if you buy the disc add-on, then you're paying another $50. So really, it's
the same. It's the
has the
same
potential
cost,
to
yeah.
be the same or a little more
Yeah.
expensive. I don't know. I guess it just depends on which way you look at it. That's
If you
weird.
want it, if you want it slim, Jeff, you can now get
They're
it
saying
in
it's
November.
overall smaller too, though, right?
Right.
I think
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's not
it's
just
slimmer.
they're cutting off the blades right on the sides, like because my
It's supposed to be
PlayStation, I have that 64 or the Nintendo, the translucent 64, like whatever plates on it, and that thing is still like pretty big with those like round off, or whatever.
Mhm.
yeah, it's
So
supposed to be 30% smaller, and then also it's supposed to weigh less.
yeah, if this was more the size of like the Xbox Series X, I might. That'd be cool, but I'm not buying it. Yeah, fuck. I'm not spending another thing until there's PS6. So,
It also
What
comes
if
with
there's
more
a PS
storage.
Pro? Yeah. Sorry, continue.
that would
Continue,
maybe do it.
Vactor.
That would maybe do it.
It also comes with a terabyte of storage over the 800 gigabyte models of old. So that's really the biggest difference. Everything else is the same.
Yeah, that to me is like fine, but not worth it. Like I'll just uninstall a game if I run out of space. I'm not,
Yeah. I think this is for people who don't have it already. I think this is for
right,
people who
right,
never bought a PS5.
right. But I'm saying if there's incentive to get people who do own it, like I don't see it unless you're like a weirdo and you
I don't
want
think
to have
this is
all
worth
that.
it.
But I would like to see I just want to see what it actually looks like. Because if it's like tinier, like if it's actually like smaller, like height wise and all that stuff, like that would be cool. Because I can't
It'll
even fit it in my TV thing. I have to sit it outside the TV thing. Stop laughing, Rob,
No,
about
I was picturing
my tiny desires.
no. I was thinking okay, that's pretty funny. No, I was just thinking about like the NES Mini or the SNES Mini that came out, just the little plug and plays, like
Oh,
them
right.
just making a tiny little dinky little PlayStation, like that you just plug and play. That's what was making me laugh.
It's like Will Ferrell in that Jeffrey skit. On
Oh
the phone.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Vactor, for the audio listeners, is looking for a visual representation of this
Yeah,
on YouTube,
I don't
but
think they
there doesn't
quite
appear to
have it.
be. It's all just this static image, and it looks exactly the same or virtually the same, so you can't really tell.
Yeah,
But it's two consoles next to a controller, but you don't know if it's to scale.
yeah. There's no banana for scale on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah. Get your banana in there, Jeff.
But yeah, I can't even fit it in my. I have to sit my PlayStation, and I'm sure this is like similar for a lot of other people. Like it has to sit kind of on the side of like where I put my gaming consoles and stuff that's under my
Right.
TV. So if this was like smaller, I wish it was like this to begin with. Really, if this is small enough to fit where I put my other consoles, that would be ideal, I guess. But yeah, this is cool, but I don't think it's worth like I wouldn't pay 50 more. But if I could get a regular digital and save $50, I would do it. Like I don't think it's gonna be all that significant.
Well, if it's not a mid-season replacement, like your PS4 Pros or your Xbox Pro,
Yeah.
outside of the storage issue, there's not a lot of motivation for me to want to buy another one.
Yeah.
So I probably won't. But I guess it's good for anybody who doesn't have one already. And I think the digital, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think the digital only is the way to go because physical media is dying unless you're some sort of collector. But physical media is dying. So stick with the digital.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Or the only other thing, like, and I've seen, somebody in this chat is like this will like sometimes you can get deals on like physical games because they just want to get rid of it. So, you know, somebody
it?
here
Who-
likes the
Which
physical
person in this
games
chat?
every so
Why
often.
would Jeff talk about himself in the third person, everyone? Why would he do that?
We found him.
Oh my
We
God.
found him, fellas. He spoke up.
Yeah. He's got a green shirt
Hey,
on.
was the
That's right.
Xbox one that Xbox thing that leaked? That is a similar situation, right? That was not a pro. That was not a better version, right? That was just a
Right.
redesign.
It was a redesigned all digital
Okay.
version that was shaped like a cylinder, shaped like a little trash can.
Yeah. So it's not. They're not. So they're both doing the same thing, where it's like redesigning it a little bit, sending it out there. They're not really giving you like more horsepower.
Trying to make that money, Jeff. The greedy corporations.
Yeah.
They just want your money.
I'll get that controller for Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But that's about it. Everybody else can suck it.
Everybody else can just take it and suck it. All right, what's next,
Well-
Vacky?
We all know JeffW made Kotaku, boys. In the year 2023, JeffW bought the only Wii U that was sold. Somewhere out there was a warehouse with one less dust-covered Nintendo cardboard box. This was a system.
Can I show this on the? Can you read this? Because you
No.
just
that say?
made. Read this text right here. Oh, I don't think it's
can't
gonna,
read it.
All right, so I'm showing a text that came in 9 minutes ago from my buddy Simon. Jeff, you bought that Wii U you've been waiting for, and he's linking to this story. So you guys are unoriginal. This is a bunch of bullshit. I don't even think I can show it. There it is.
Sounds like I was correct.
Yeah.
That
I think it's
JeffW
flipped,
bought
but
the only Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking.
That's our Jeff. That's our Jeff.
So that was a funny story that JeffW did that. That was very good. Launched in 2012. The Wii U, I would say Nintendo's least popular system.
Oh
of all
yeah,
time.
because
Probably.
it looks like shit. Yeah.
Well, maybe the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, maybe that. But I
One
think
of
you
those.
know what, if they were to like, if they would have redesigned it, because like, I would have like some old Nintendo consoles around and stuff like that, like just to, like I have that stupid SNES mini thing or whatever, like if they, and not to say you
It's a
should do the
nice
same thing,
visual.
but like the Wii U never got like a redesign either. They didn't care about it, so it was just this bulky looking, like just burning garbage. The games were good, but like it was just not selling with people. But if they would have done something like, if there was like a small Wii U type thing and they changed it up or whatever, or did something different with it, I would maybe mess with the Wii U still. But I just remember homebrewing mine and just downloading games on it at a certain point because it was so who gives a shit, pretty much.
That's a nice hat you got there, Jeff. That Chicago Bulls hat and the white hoodie. That was very
nice red polo right there on you. Yeah.
You both were there.
We got one more Jeff W story, as a matter of fact, to share with all of our listeners. Guess what? Fortnite is having a new map, Jeff, and they leaked it all the way back in Avengers Endgame. And Avengers Endgame takes place, as you know, Jeff, October 2023.
Uh-huh.
So there's a little bit of synergy, Jeff, that's going on here with our boy Thor.
So
The
what
chapter
happened?
1 map. So in the game, remember, or in the movie Endgame, Jeff,
Yeah,
remember he was playing Fortnite?
right.
With Korg.
He's fat, and Fat Thor gets shown. Yeah,
That map that you see in the movie, they are releasing that now
but that
in
is the
October
game.
2023.
That is
Well, that map, that was the original chapter 1 map. So they're going back to that original map. So they're saying
right.
Endgame predicted it.
Oh, oh, okay. I was like, this is not a special end game thing. They're just okay.
No.
So anything
They're
that
lining
played
it up.
Fortnite with that chapter 1 and had it in a movie or TV show is also credited with it. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're
Don't
lining
you
up.
don't you remember, Jeff? #1 victory royale in Fortnite. We're about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
God, that song fucking
That was a
sucked.
great song that Jeff
That
made.
sucked ass. That was like a low moment for video games.
And that's the news, Jeff.
Yeah, hey,
It's gonna
does
be a
anybody
great
give a
short.
shit? I don't even know what the map is. Is the map
I do.
like it's just blowing up right now, right? So it's gonna like they're just gonna unblow up everything.
It's gonna be fun, Jeff.
It's gonna be a good one,
to that, I
Jeff.
guess, but
Pew
you know.
pew 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 pew. The songers of the world are gonna
Fine.
love it.
Oh,
Pew,
hey,
pew, pew, pew.
hey, check this out. Hold on. Before we move on to the gaming thing, I'm gonna link you. Pull this article up, Vactor. We're talking about the PlayStation, how small it looks. Check this one out. This one looks. There's a little comparison
Let's see.
that somebody pulled up.
All right, we're looking at this, boys. Okay, so there is a picture
Yeah, look at
on
that.
Kotaku.com.
Now, if that gives you a little bit of scaling idea, this would maybe be worth it to make it fit under your TV.
That's about 30% smaller, like I said.
It looks like those fake knockoff ones, like the PlayStation 4 that you see.
Oh, right.
Interesting.
But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting scale thing before we move on.
For the audio only listeners, it's just like the PS5 took one of Ant-Man's shrinking discs
Yeah.
and shrunk just a little bit. Remember that scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp where Paul Rudd's running around in a school and he's the size of a child? That's what this is.
Yeah.
Good comparison.
All right. So that's the news, everybody. So it's time to get into the Let's Play section. And you know what that means. Update on Zelda Gate 2023. Now, loyal listeners will remember that JeffW several weeks ago promised that he was going to have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom beat by Labor Day. It is now several weeks after Labor Day, and we are doing our weekly check-in. JeffW, did you beat Tears of the Kingdom?
No, I've been playing Assassin's Creed all week.
Oh, Jeff,
bitches.
Jeff. All right. Beep, 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 beep. Update. So we'll come back next week and see if Zelda Gate 2023 finally has a resolution. All right. So moving on, you've been playing more Assassin's Creed this week, Jeff?
Yeah,
Tell us all about it.
I think I'm about halfway through. If I could be more. I don't know if you've been playing, Rob, but the investigations tab is kind of annoying. I actually would need to go through like an IGN walkthrough list to see like how to have a proper list of the missions. So I think I'm about halfway through. Now I did ramp up my gameplay with some cheats, because I'm trying to make this $15 worth it. And actually, what I would say this. Don't even and Rob, if you do this, and here's what I do every time now. I don't bother with like the health cheats. I don't bother with like the speed cheats. I don't care about any of that. All I do is I did unlock some skills, so you might want to unlock some of the skills. I did unlock all those. But aside from that, after you do that one time and you have everything unlocked, the only cheat I enable is the throwing knives so that I never run out of throwing knives.
My man's out here just raining knives.
Oh, I clear rooms in like seconds. I'll clear a room just because I am just like tossing knives like crazy. Now, there is a skill in there where you can kind of like you might not have to use that cheat, but if you give yourself the skill, because there's one where you can go in there and you can basically throw a knife at somebody, then you can walk over the body, and it's guaranteed to let you pick it back up. I think without that skill, it's like randomized. I think it'll
Mhm.
sometimes let you pick the knife back up. Uh, but yeah, if you play that, if you just have that in the game, I mean, that is like the most overpowered, like that's like the best thing in the game because the only thing you can't kill are like the heavy brute guys or whatever. But you
Right.
can clear the room and then just sneak up on that guy. Like I've done that, I don't know, half a dozen times, somewhere in between that. Like just clear out the room, get all the small guys, and then I'll run up to the big guy. He kill him, and then he's cleared, and then I move on with the room. So it's probably speeding up. I don't know. I'm probably playing the game at like 1.5 times speed. You know, if it was a YouTube video, let's say, because I could just clear out some of this garbage and some of the boring shit.
It's like Benny
Um,
Hill, man.
yeah. And so yeah, that game is pretty good. It's I like I said, we talked last week. I have not played like the Egypt one. I played a little of Valhalla, like maybe a couple hours.
I think Valhalla
Um,
is the biggest change because this one,
yeah.
Mirage, feels like all the old ones. All right, you're in Baghdad
Yes.
again. You're Prince of Persia again.
Mhm.
The Valhalla felt like the biggest change of scenery, the biggest like, oh, this feels like a new game versus all the other ones.
Yeah. And and this has been pretty good too. Just in terms of like, overall gameplay. But yeah, it's what I like about it is just, you can they actually seemingly give you the option to like you can either stealth this area or you can just go in here and just start trying to stab people. Obviously the stealth options are more extensive. I don't know, Rob, I don't know if you've played much more and gotten used to the combat, but the combat to me is not like it doesn't feel smooth. It isn't like a like Metal Gear Solid 5, when I was playing that, I didn't mind what happened at all because I love the shooting. I love everything in that game. If I get stuck in a room and there's like, if I drop down and three or four guys are coming at me, the combat isn't so smooth like a Spider-Man 2 or like I said, Metal Gear or something where I don't really enjoy fighting a room full of people. So for me, it's like the puzzle is figuring out how to clear it first and then, deal with like one or two guys at a time, if not just one, basically.
Right. So I have been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage this week, but I got to tell you, oh, we're watching some gameplay right now. Who's this guy? That's
That's
not Berlizzi.
that's Sharim Legend Life.
All right. Shout out to Shaheem Legend Live
Yeah.
and his Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage a little bit this week too, and I got to tell you, Jeff, I have not. The bright idea of using cheats has not dawned on me,
Mhm.
but maybe it really should have because the more I play it, the less inclined I feel to keep playing it.
Oh
And I don't know what it
no.
is. Like I was thinking about it last night actually because I played for like 40 minutes last night. I running around doing these investigations, what was I doing last night?
Mhm.
There was a bunch of somebody's crew or team members or gang or something were kidnapped and they're all on a boat. They're like at a dock
Oh,
and
right, right.
I had to go like rescue all these people.
Mhm.
Which set me up for like an Arkham situation in the sense that you remember when you'd play any Arkham game, you'd go into a room, like a big warehouse, and there's like 30 guys just walking around going, "What was
Yeah.
that? Probably the wind." And then just keep going. They keep it on going on their business.
Hey, did you hear about the Joker and and they just keep they have like
Yeah.
the dialogue.
Did you
Yeah.
hear about that assassin? That the guy who looks like a Mirage?
Yeah,
Yes. Anyways,
yeah.
so I was in that section and I mean it was fun enough, I guess. Um, you know, stalking people and assassinating them, but what really bothers me and what is turning me off on the game is I don't know if it's the controls or if it's just everything is a little too touchy, but like I'll try to be sneaky and my guy will run up the wall I didn't ask him to, or he will jump on and hold on to like a pile of hay, which
Mhm.
has that, like, why would you jump and grab on the pile of hay like you're climbing it
Yeah.
when the guy is chasing you? When I wanted to grab the wall that was right next to it, like a lot of inconsistency, or not, the precision is way low. I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Where I'm grabbing and running into things that I'm not meaning to, or I'm not seeing any sort of consistency in making my guy be able to run. Like he'll run for a little bit and then he'll stop and he'll start walking. And maybe there's a stamina meter or something that I'm not paying attention to when it comes to that. But also the combat in general, just like Jeff said, is it's a little funky. Like it doesn't have that flow
Mhm.
like a Spider-Man game, like an Arkham game, or even like Elden Ring or any of these other sort of open world combat action adventure games where, I mean, it's serviceable and you can get the job done, but I'm not like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is like, oh man, now I got to fight this guy. This guy caught me and now I got to fight him. Okay. I got to figure out these controls. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's those two things in particular where I'll find myself in a fun situation. I'm like, yes, I get to be stealthy. I get to take out all these people. Let's friggin' go. And now I'm stuck to a wall. Now I am running into a corner. Now the combat is weird. I can't get what I want. And on the other side of the
Mhm.
thing, on the other side of the coin, and I don't know if this is really what's happening, but it's something that's in the back of my mind. I know that a week from now, I'm gonna be in Spider-Man. I'm gonna be in Super Mario Wonder. These games that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And maybe it's just in the back of my mind going, Rob, you know you're gonna stop playing this when
Mhm.
these games come out. And so maybe I'm not motivated to enjoy them, or there's some sort of psychological thing to it. But I'm having a hard time finding the motivation to keep playing Assassin's Creed Mirage. So I don't know. Or it could also be number 3. The thing that I said last week is that where every game I play of Assassin's Creed Mirage just feels like it's the same game and I'm not getting anything different, and the same game isn't enough to keep me going.
Right.
Maybe my game tastes are changing, or maybe the game itself isn't changing. I don't really know.
I think
I
it's
don't
the
want to say it's
game.
not fun, but it's not fun enough to keep me motivated.
Mhm.
I think it's the game because you told us before you've had the same kind of situation with every Assassin's Creed. Like you'll play it for a little while and then it just kind of teeters off. Like it doesn't keep your interest, and that's how it was for me. Also, that's why I never stayed up on a lot of the franchises. I mean, a lot of the entries in the franchise, I would play them for you know 30 minutes and all right, this is the same thing, and I don't, that core mechanic is not that fun to me. So
Mhm.
I think it's just more of the same. Like I said, Valhalla was interesting to me because it was completely different scenarios, completely different maps and things. Like you were in a setting that was completely different. So to me, that's what would make it fun is if it's just let's go to Japan. Let's have something just you've never seen before rather than all right, it's the Middle East again, it's the same stuff and then we're just doing the same thing over and over again. It needs to evolve for me to be interested in this franchise again.
And I'd say honestly, like my motivation is that 15 fucking dollars that I spent to play
Yeah.
this piece of
No,
shit.
15 bucks versus 70
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's
It's
is
only
the
fair.
way to
It's
go.
fair.
what's weird is it's only 50. Like if you buy it on
Oh,
the Epic
there you go.
store, it's only 50. I don't know why.
Oh,
I
really?
actually don't think it's worth 70, but
No,
they
no.
released it full price for 50.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of cool. There's like things that like, do you know what it is for me is there's little thing like just running around playing it like an old Assassin's Creed game. There's not a bunch of like menus and stuff I have to worry about in terms of like items and all that shit. But also like, they're doing like you get like a Prince of Persia outfit basically, and like a lot of the weapons are like Sands of Time. So you got these like cool little weapons. I haven't even upgraded the weapons. Aside from the throwing knives, I haven't even upgraded the weapons, and I'm pretty deep in the game. I was gonna look up an IGN walkthrough to see if I could tell like how far I'm off, but like I'm probably I'm at least half, if not deeper in. And it's like, I don't know, it's, I think it's good enough, but yeah, I think my motivation right now is to like get it basically it's something new for me to play that is gonna wait until like you said, Spider-Man or Wonder come out, and then I'm, full blown every minute I have is gonna go into those two things.
Oh yeah.
But it's like I think it's like a serviceable game. I wouldn't call it like a bad it's certainly not a bad Assassin's Creed game. It's probably like a middling normal game though, right? Like it's probably going to be like a 7.5 out of like a 10 game. You know what I mean? It's probably where I would,
Right.
and not even in terms of like the quality, because it runs very well. I'll give Ubisoft credit on that. Like it runs perfectly on my machine. Like there's no
Oh yeah, mine too.
issues.
It looks great on the ultra
Yeah,
wide.
the menus don't hang. Yeah, and the game looks great. Like it checks off all those boxes. I think the franchise might either needs to go away, or like Vactor said, evolve into something else for a while, and not a fucking like side scrolling, we Switch game or whatever. Like,
Well,
don't give me something stupid. I need like, you know, change it up. They need to like. I feel like it needs to be built from the ground up. I feel like that whole combat system. I feel like all of the because like you said, like it just feels clunky. Like, go play Metal Gear Solid 5 and go sneak around, and that is what I'm talking about. Like it feels so natural and so
Yeah. Go
smooth. Like
play
that's what I
Splinter
want.
Cell Chaos Theory.
Well, maybe one of those games. Maybe one of those games.
Here's
Um,
my idea for Assassin's Creed to get it to
mhm,
rejuvenate the franchise. And this is a serious idea. Now, you guys are a little more familiar with it than me. So if this has already been done, you can tell me I'm wrong and it won't
mhm,
rejuvenate the franchise. But as far as I can tell, in this game, I don't remember what it's called. I'm just going to call it the Anibus or the Onibus, where you remember in the old games, it'd be like, I'm in the future, now I'm in the past. I'm in the future, now I'm
mhm.
in the past.
Yeah.
And the future sections were just you walking like in a giant hospital or something.
Yeah. And those are all gone. Yeah.
Yeah. But why don't they make an Assassin's Creed that takes place in the quote unquote present day where you the like I don't I don't know the stories. I don't know the ins and outs, but you're a modern day Templar in this, and not only do you have your things, but you get you can have your pew pew and you can have all your futuristic ways to take people out
yeah.
Mhm,
and make it more, I don't want to say Arkham because I don't want it to copy that game, but more of a modern sort of stealthy game like a Splinter Cell or a Metal Gear, but with that Assassin's Creed
mhm,
lore pulled into it, and then have some big like cool semi-open world or open world modern day sections where you are being a sneaky assassin,
I
like
would play that.
Hitman meets Assassin's Creed meets Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
That's my idea to
uh,
rejuvenate the series. That's a freebie, Activision.
yeah.
Yeah. I would play that. But I think also the problem is the year to year release date.
Mhm,
It's like coming out with yearly releases, they just don't have enough time to innovate and completely do it like Jeff said from the ground up. Give us a couple years off from the yearly Assassin's Creed releases.
right.
And oh, I did look it up on the console. This is $60 on if you buy it PC on Epic Store. Like I said, it's $50.
Mhm,
But this is, I think, the perfect type of game that you throw on that subscription service. Jeff got it, for $15. You play it, and then all right, you can go on and play something else. You didn't spend $60, $50 on a the full release. I think this is one of those type of games that you fill up a subscription service and you just have
mhm.
another option to play, but I also wouldn't just
Right.
buy this out.
And I was gonna say, like, if you want to, if something that I think would intrigue me, like if I think about and maybe Vactor, because Rob, I think, well, Rob, you played up to like what we played too, so you would
Mhm.
relate to this too. But I think like the other games were pretty simple to me, right? Like there's the at least the basic of the story. Like I know there's like a lot of intricacies and like the relationships and all that stuff, but like you said, it was very basic. It was like, hey, you're out of the Anubis or whatever. Now you're in it. Here's these main plot characters. I don't know how this game does this game relate to any of that. or is it just Assassin's Creed in name only? Now, I have been skipping a bunch of shit, so there could be something I'm missing, but
That's our
like
Jeff.
I'm never forced into like what does this relate to? So if it was me, I would do kind of a mixture of what we're all talking about, like just go back to the basics, revamp the control system, and then just make them like very, basic. I don't know what Rob is doing over here.
I'm just making some faces.
Make it basic. Like, give me a good story. Like, really, here, I know what's happening in the story. I can tell you like the relationships between this guy and this like female character that's from his village and all that stuff. Like, I can tell you like sort of what's happening here, but I can't like I don't know if it'd be interesting to anybody. And
No,
then like
it's
why does this have Assassin's Creed on the title other than
right.
that it just plays like one of those games? Like, you know, it's just weird. I think it needs rebooting as well. Like go back
Yeah.
to a simpler time, and then you don't have to do like a specific time frame at that point. But you could do modern, or like if you wanted to do something where he hops in and does different ones, like do something different. I don't know. It just needs to be, to me, it needs to go back to like, why do I give a shit about these people? And like, tone down
Well,
some of the like fucking Illuminati like puzzles and shit. Like
well,
it doesn't need to be that convoluted.
Mortal Kombat is a perfect analogy to that. Like they rebooted it, went back to the original storyline, the original
Mm,
tournament. Everything since then has been interesting. The way that they've done the story has been that's what's been keeping my interest even more so than the gameplay. And I was trying to watch the story of Mirage, and it was like this is not interesting at all. Like I would
yeah.
rather watch something else than this. There's nothing about this is compelling to me. So I think you're right. I think they need to reboot it from not only from a story standpoint, but also from a gameplay mechanic standpoint, like just
Mhm.
completely fresh. Because that IP, that that name holds weight, right? Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed has some type of hold in our culture, and then they've had a movie, so they could do it for sure. They would have that brand recognition. So yeah, I think if they just completely started fresh and give us something
Yeah.
new, then we'll be
And
interested.
that's like what Ed Boon, what I actually like. Obviously, the games have been good, and they're like highly touted in like the competitive fighting video game community. But like all the Ed Boon stuff that he's done with NetherRealm, I appreciate it, even if it seems goofy. So we could talk about Mortal Kombat 1 for 2 seconds. Uh, I don't want to spoil it for Rob, unless he cares. Uh,
Go for it, buddy. Go
so
for it.
at the end of this
Go for
one,
it.
I won't go into all the details, but at the end of the new game, you get to the end and they reveal this like multiverse type thing, and they mix all of the characters. So imagine like, Baraka with a frozen, hand or abilities, like, and they just mix and mash all the characters, and it just feels cool because those characters, right? Like it might seem corny to people, but at least I care about the characters that are, being changed up and having
Right.
things swapped around. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, it might seem goofy, but at least I do care about it. And whereas this, you could put anybody's name, you could put anybody's thing, you could put this in any location. It's the same like drivel. It's the same just overly convoluted, who gives a shit mystery thing that to me needs to be basic on a certain level, right? Like you can't over complex this. You know,
Right.
but yeah.
I took off my cans while Jeff was spoiling Mortal Kombat. Yes, I didn't hear the spoilers.
Yeah, I said it quick. I
May-
made sure. I made sure I did it while
Maybe
your
I'll try to
headset was
beat
off.
Mortal Kombat before Spider-Man because
Yeah.
now that's a game that was holding my
Mhm.
interest.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. All right. So I think that's it for the games we played this week. Now, next week, we've mentioned it 100 times already. Spider-Man 2.
I
Maybe
think that'll be our
Vactor's
main
game of the
one,
year.
right? I think we're all gonna
Yeah.
mostly play that.
Next week we'll talk about Spider-Man 2. Super Mario Wonder comes out the same day, but at least for me, I'm probably going to be focusing my attention a little more on the Spider-Man
Yeah.
to start. And then the following week, we'll spend a little more time talking about Spider-Man and our experiences, but mainly Super Mario Wonder. Because next week, we record on Sundays, at least for right now, but the game comes out on a Thursday night
And I'm
/
taking Friday
Friday.
off from work.
Yeah, so we'll have a limited amount of time with Spider-Man, so the talk will mainly be just first impressions. But the following week we can get a little more in depth to it and talk about a Super Mario Wonder.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Did you guys see that video of Super Mario Wonder? Real quick, a little promo video where King Koopa is trying to give flowers to Princess Peach, and then she turns into an elephant, and King Koopa's like, "Oh baby." Like,
I didn't
turns
see
out
that.
Bowser likes some thick. We'll talk
Whoa.
about it more. I'll show you guys the video. It's pretty good. But stick with us for all the Spider-Man Super Mario Wonder talk, and obviously all the video game news and everything else we're playing in between. Before we sign off, I need Vactor to tell you all about the Vactorverse.
Oh yeah, this week in the Vactorverse, we've got some lovely Star Wars shorts. If you didn't see it, there was an Ahsoka Friends intro. So the no one told you life was gonna be this way. That whole thing. But Ahsoka, I've got that in the Vactorverse. I've got the short, I've got the long, whatever you like. I've got the horizontal, the vertical, all of that stuff in the Vactorverse.
That's a rap song reference. Jeff.
And we're talking
T.I.
all about Loki season 2. So you're not going to want to miss it over in the Vactorverse, youtube.com/Vactor.
Yes, you can find all of the comic book knowledge you're ever going to need, or comic book related or tangentially related. Vactorverse. And he's also on TikTok, and he's also on do you do Instagram and all that stuff
Yes.
still, or is it mainly just TikTok?
Instagram,
Okay,
actually, I've had an upswing recently, so I've been focusing a little bit more on Instagram Reels. I don't know why, but I think Facebook has been showing them a lot. So I've actually been focusing on Instagram a lot lately.
Well, there you go. You can look them up, Vactor or Vactorverse, anywhere you get your stuff. And speaking of getting stuff, you can find the Sandbox Gamers again on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook Reels, on Instagram Reels. We're pretty much all the places. We're doing the character bios, which people are loving, by the way. Those things are getting lots of likes and lots of attention.
Oh, yeah.
Plus our podcast shorts, which people are loving. By the way, the short last week from Tommy Gunn talking about, do you need to be in your mom or in your dad? And Jeff getting violently angry is that one's doing gangbusters right now. So anyways, find us on all the places. Don't forget to subscribe, like, do all the things, and we'll be back next week for some Spider-Man talk. GG, everybody. GG.